Has life gotten so busy for you that you've chosen to neglect your own personal health, either consciously or unconsciously? Are you part of the 64% of Americans who say they simply just don't have the time to do it, according to one poll and the New York Post? Well, if you answered yes, Anthony Cotter is someone who wants to lend you a helping hand. Cotter runs the website WholeLifeGoals.com, which matches people with health, wealth, and wellness goals with certified professionals, which can help them reach and achieve their goals. He joined me this week to share his personal story and battle with his own physical and mental health, and how he hopes the platform is helping others come out on the positive side of their own individual health care. I'm Kevin McShann. Let's have this conversation. So, Anthony, if you're ready, I'll take a moment to welcome you to the program, and I'm excited to learn all about your journey in health and fitness. Great to see you today, and thank you so very much for being here.
Perfect, man. Thank you.
So, Anthony, I want to dive right into whole life goals, where you connect people with certified professionals who are seeking to increase their health, wellness, and happiness. So I'm wondering if you can tell me all about the great work that you do to keep people healthy.
Absolutely. So the site is very simple. There's when the visitors come to the site, we ask a question, which is, what is your goal? And the site is broken down into 4 categories, which is movement, meals, mind, and money. On the other side of the site, we're asking our certified professionals, what do you specialize in? And we connect the people that are looking to achieve a goal in those 4 categories. So it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty simple. A really great reason, the really great way we connect people is through different traumatic experiences that they've gone through. It's not the only way we connect people, but this is one of the ways. So if you've gone through a traumatic experience in your life, and the professional has also gone through the same similar type of experience, we want to connect those 2 people first and foremost, because we feel that, let's say, you've gone through divorce and you've gained some weight, and the professionals also had that experience maybe, a few years ago, and they figured out how to overcome those things. We want to connect you guys. So it's kind of like a life hack that, will get you on that, on a path that, that's, get you support, and get you to reach your goal. So that's what we're doing.
Absolutely. And I know it's also important to you to build a sense of community amongst your members where they can communicate and thrive for betterment as well. So talk to me about creating a sense of camaraderie and how important that is to you.
There are other sites that could connect people, but on those sites, you could find, plumbers and, wedding DJs and a bunch of other things. So we wanted to create this with, wellness, at the first foremost. That's what the community is about. It's about, getting people together, surrounding yourself with people that know what you want, know the type of products you're looking for, and really, creating that connection. The camaraderie is pretty simple because we have everybody that's there to support you. So, there's you could direct message people, you could email people, there's live chats, there's all these great ways to connect people. And let me say one thing. It's, everything we do today, a lot is through the internet, and it's really beneficial, I believe, to still go out and meet people, and still get hugs from people, and still really connect with people. And that's the camaraderie. So people tend to like, oh, I'm going to go do this online yoga class, and they press play, and then they're like, I'm done. There's no one there really there to hold them accountable to get their workout in. And so if you didn't want to go to the gym, you could have someone come to your house, and when someone comes to your house, you're not going to let that other person down. You're there to work out with that person, whether your personal trainer or your yoga teacher or your Pilates instructor or whatever. So it really, there's accountability there. And that's what it is. Then you meet that person's community, and it builds community, and that's where the camaraderie comes in. So, yeah.
Yeah, a sense of accountability is important, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean that absolutely, because people, it takes time to build that, in some people. But once they do, then they start to take responsibility for those little things in life, and then when you make those little increments, then you can look back and you're like, wow, I was 30 pounds overweight, and I couldn't lift 20 pounds, or I couldn't do 5 push-ups. And then when you start to do those, when you take the responsibility and you make those little increment shifts, your whole life changes.
Yeah, absolutely. And Anthony, I have to tell you that I live my life through a model that inclusion is the gateway to independence. And I don't know how much research you did on me, but I was born with what's called spastic quadriplegia cerebral palsy. And I know for you, networking to help other people start or strengthen their health-based businesses is important to you. So I'm going to ask you about that, and also the importance you think it is for folks with disabilities to continue or make a commitment for active movement, buddy. I'm curious.
Yeah, I mean, you know more than anyone, right? How much have your life changed when you started working out and you started moving your body and change your mindset, change your, the endorphins, all these amazing things that happen. You created the camaraderie. You have closer friends now. All of that. I mean, you sharing your story is probably more important than me sharing my story.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that it's important for you to give entrepreneurs a sense of empowerment by connecting them with like-minded people. So tell me about helping other health-minded people grow their businesses and how important that is to your body.
Yeah, man. So, so when I was starting out as a, let's say a yoga teacher or a meditation teacher, I had a raw food business, and I had to work other jobs. I had my passion to be in fitness and to be into health and to be in all these things. I needed another job so then I could do the other things I wanted to do. And so by creating this company, I want people to get out of that 9 to 5 because they're not psyched to being there. So it's a large, it's 40 hours of their life every week not doing their passion. So if I'm able to connect people, and then they could spend more time doing what they love, becoming that life coach, becoming that yoga teacher, having more clients and helping more people, and they find that sense of gratitude and purpose in their life. So it's a huge thing for me, and the site is there to create a healthy workforce of people, and then the more people you help, the better the community gets, the better everyone's community gets. You help one person in that community, that creates a ripple effect in everyone's community. They feel better about themselves. So then the next person they see, they smile. And then that smile connects to that next person. And the next person smiles. And so if you're feeling good, that touches everyone's life. You know, while you're waiting online at the bank, you have a small, because you're feeling good, so you're sharing that good feeling. And so that's really what the site is about. Continue to connect people together, people that need a hand up. Hey man, there's a whole group of people that were once struggling just like you, and now these people learned how to overcome these hurdles, and that's what I want to do. Keep connecting people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that your childhood had a big impact on why you wanted to enter the health and fitness space. So I'm wondering if you can tell me all about it.
Sure. So again, the site is based on movement, meals, mind, and money. And those four pillars, people try to seek balance or harmony in those four areas. And so in life, when I was growing up, I was definitely not in harmony, and I was way out of balance. And so life teaches you, it teaches you one way or another. And so, there was a lot of addiction and homelessness and dropping out of school and just being in that survival mode. But because of being in that survival mode, I got to learn about other things, and it wasn't really a path of, hey, I'm gonna go get healthy and that's gonna cure everything. But it definitely made my choices, and it got me on a different path. I started really taking responsibility for my choices. And so yeah, alcohol and drugs and all these things, it's really selfish, and you're really burning your time when you could be really providing, a better experience for yourself. And so once you start to do that, other doors open up. So, if I didn't go out drinking on a Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, then I could wake up early and go work out or go take a yoga class or do something. And so again, little increments, little changes, but that also changes your community of people, right? You stop hanging out with those people that are doing those things, because now you've met a new girl at the yoga studio, you met a new friend that needs a partner to go work out with, and so all these, your life starts to change for the better. Really, it's really a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, absolutely. The value of human connection, especially after COVID, won't be underestimated again, huh?
That's right. Yeah, I mean, COVID is a great lesson for everyone. A lot of fears come up, a lot of blockages come up. And even with people that take the vaccine or don't take the vaccine or whatever that is, you could really see how media divides people, and but once which is a great lesson, you could then now start seeing through that, and I feel like people will get past all that fear and want to help one another again. It's like, if you take away the people, then you realize, man, I need more people in my life. You forget how it is to be hugged and hold hands and go on walks and stuff, and how important that is, that human connection really is. So take it away, and people don't, oh yeah, it's no big deal. But then take it away long enough, and we're humans, and we're human beings, and we need to be together, and family and community, and it's really important. So, it's that saying, like, if you've never been angry, you wouldn't know what happiness felt like. Like, if you were always happy, you wouldn't know any difference, right? So you need that balance. You need to feel the other way, so then you have a real appreciation for the other things in life. Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know the book, A Diet for a New America, had a profound impact on your life. So I'm wondering if you can tell me about that, Bonnie.
Yeah. So again, the site is broken down into movement, meals, mind, money. And so my meals category, is how to eat, how to live a healthy lifestyle. And so when I was, I was living on the streets for a while, and I didn't, my mom raised me vegetarian from birth, and she was a yoga teacher, and her, herself and her sisters, my aunt and her brothers, my uncles, they taught me meditation and all these other techniques at a very, very young age, to the point where it really didn't interest me at that age. You'd rather go play with your toys and stuff. So, so, so it didn't really interest me, but it was definitely instilled in me, and I definitely understood it. And so later in life, I really wanted to tap into my mother. My mother passed away when I was 9 years old, so she wasn't around, to teach me more. And I moved in with my dad, who was, a Vietnam vet and self-medicating for years. And yeah, I got a job later on in life. I was in, my late teens, early 20s, and my cousin gave me the book Diet for New America, and it really, and I was on that path of trying to figure out why my mom raised me vegetarian, or why she got me into yoga and stuff. And so when I got that book, it was like, when you ever get a book that it's like, oh man, this is exactly what I needed at the exact time, you know, you can't put it down. And halfway through it, I was just like, yeah, I'll never eat dairy again. I didn't know. I just wasn't aware. You grew up in a city, I grew up in, Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, and there's no farms. You don't. There's no connection to the animals. You don't. Yeah, you just don't. A hamburger is just a sandwich, or it's just, a slice of pizza is just a slice of pizza. Like, there's no connection to where those ingredients come from. And John Robbins's book, A Diet for a New America, really gave me the perspective that I needed, because you think cheese is not, like, it's not a big deal. Well, they're not killing the animal, so it's really no big deal. But a cow, any female doesn't just produce milk just to create cheese. They need to be inseminated, right, or raped, really, right, so then they could produce milk, and then we steal that milk because it's not going to the calf to create those dairy products. And they're in this confinement. They're not, it's not a happy life. I just didn't want to be a part of that. I didn't want to be a part of the suffering. And because of that book, it gave me that aha moment, like, oh man, I could simply remove myself from this cycle of suffering, and teach other people, like, hey, do you know where that stuff comes from? And if they get turned on to it, and if it means something to them, and if they love animals, and then their diet changes, and then they start to think about what they're consuming. And that's part of the process, is, to be mindful about what goes in your body. Like, once I started doing that, like, I noticed my own hypocrisy. Like, well, I'm gonna go out and drink and poison my body, but I won't eat dairy. Like, it didn't make sense. So once I started to think about, well, I'm not gonna eat this, and I'm not gonna drink this, then my path started to change.
Yeah, priorities in life are important. I always say that we make time in life for stuff that's important to us, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you put those priorities first, and again, your whole path in life starts to change once you really put yourself first. I don't want that to sound selfish, but once you take care of yourself and you're able to float, then you could help someone else that's maybe drowning, or sinking. But if you're sinking, all you're doing is pulling the other person down with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And Anthony, talking to you, sparked my interest to ask this question. Mental health resources are something that is scarce across America and really across the world. So I'm wondering your thoughts on how we can help people where they are, or when it comes to their mental health needs as well.
So I go back to my childhood, because we brought it up before. But so there's my mom, my dad, and my brother and I. My brother's 4.5, 5 years older than me, and he was way more wild on the streets, in and out of Rikers Island, selling drugs and surviving and doing his thing. And when he hit around 20 years old, he was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. So I feel like I lived with a brother that was my original brother that I knew growing up as a young, as a toddler, and he was a certain personality then, and then he was a really very violent, uncontrollable person, was hearing voices and all these things. And then after that, he became very heavily medicated. And then, so it's like having three brothers in one body. So mental health to me it's a huge, it's a huge thing. So there are two things that I would recommend everybody, which is always having a little bit of your focus and your consciousness inside your body. So while we're having this conversation, there's a part of me, and I say it's 9%, 10%, 20, whatever it is, but there's a small part of me that focuses on the inside of my body where my heart is, but on the back side of my heart. I focus on the back side of my heart. And so as I'm talking, I'm still grounded in my body and still centered in my body. So when you consume anything, like we were talking about consuming before with alcohol or drugs, what was consuming your mind in your mouth, you also have to be aware of what you're consuming with your eyes and with your ears, right? So you can consume poison just by being with people that gossip or watching TV or watching the media, just create this fear. So you're consuming, violence on TV. So then now that's in your mind, it becomes part of your mind, or horror movies or all these things. So that's the number one thing, is to watch what you consume through your senses. Always keep a little bit of your consciousness inside your body, so you're not in the external world kind of flailing out. You could, be grounded within your heart. And another huge thing that people don't really recognize is your gut. That's your second brain. That, I don't know if you're like, there's that saying of like, oh man, I felt it in my stomach, like what to do, make a left, make a right. So to have that brain gut access, you need to have a really healthy microbiome and eat and consume foods that support that, because if you don't, your mind gets foggy, and then you start to do, maybe you start to consume things that you shouldn't do. So really mental health is in the gut, and obviously, watch what you consume in your mind.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing that. And I'm also curious to ask you, based on your background and upbringing, how do you think is the best way to overcome obstacles of adversity in order to thrive on the other side of adversity?
Yes, man. So again, I go back to the website, because it's built on movement, meals, mind, money. Really, think about what you can do with your body. You can move it, you could feed it or fast it. Your mental capacity. And your money situation, because the money situation really fuels those other things. So you could go to a yoga class, or you could get to the gym. I mean, you don't need to go to a yoga class. You could do stretching on the floor. You could pick up stuff in your house that's heavy if you want to build muscles. You could figure all these things out. But with adversity, we're going to go back to creating community and creating the camaraderie. If you surround yourself with the people that have achieved the goals that that you're looking to set, that's the easiest and best way to overcome these things. So it's like in AA, right? They say, or NA, they're like, if you want what we have, which is sobriety, then come here and be a part of this family. Because when you hang out with us, you can be hanging out with people that don't drink, right? So that's really getting over the adversity, is find the people that know what you're looking for and start hanging out with them more. And when you start to hang out with those people, hey man, I want to be a millionaire. Well, then go hang out with people that are on their way to become millionaires, who are millionaires, who could teach you, hey, these are the steps I take, these are the steps I took. And you could do the same thing. We're no different from anybody else. If you could do it, I could do it, and vice versa. So to get over some hurdles in life is to surround yourself with people that have also that have the tools. Then he can help you get over those hurdles.
Yeah, absolutely. And Anthony, my final question for you today, buddy, is I'm Curious to know if you've given any thought to how you want your personal or professional legacy to be defined.
Right on. Well, man, to be defined, that's really great. I think it's just really I want to live my life doing what I love, you know, and doing this right now. I love it. This is what I love. I love to connect with people. We would have never met. You're in Canada. I'm in Vermont now. You know, we would have never met. But doing this and continue to do what I love, which is talking to people and connecting people. I mean, I'm a connector, and that's really what my legacy will be about, is connecting great people together. That's it, man. I want to create community everywhere I go. I want to teach people how to, you know, eat healthy, quiet their mind, go within their body. You know, the kingdom is within you. So the more you go within, and the more you look within your body and feel that connection, the only time you feel out of control is when you don't feel connected. So if my legacy is to help more people feel connected to themselves and to their source, dude, that's it. I'm good. That's a blessing.
Yeah, connectivity is consequentially important, isn't it?
Absolutely. For me, it's number one. Is to always feel connected. Is the number one. When I wake up in the morning, it's funny. Like when I was really into fitness, I'd wake up in the morning, do push-ups, get ready, start stretching, do all these things. Now I wake up, and it's more about hey, I want to be connected first and foremost. That's it. And then I start to set my day, you know. But the connectivity comes first.
Yeah, absolutely. And Anthony, tell me, if people want to get connected with you, what's the best way they can do that, buddy?
Well, first, check out wholelifegoals.com. It's WHOLE, whole life, LIFE, and goals, GOALS.com. And then my personal email, if anyone wants to reach out, is ac@wholelifegoals.com. Or if you want to talk to someone that works on the site, you know, if you have any questions, it's info@wholelifegoals.com. From there, you could, you know, if you're a practitioner, we have promo codes for you to start, you know, so you could just get your feet wet. There's plenty of stuff we could do to get you signed up and connect you with some people. And that's what it's about.
Well, fantastic. Well, Anthony, I want to tell you that I really enjoyed our conversation about health, wellness, and fitness, and learning a little bit about your personal journey and your overcoming of adversity. Your time, energy, and efforts on my behalf are most appreciated, and I want to thank you for your work in the space and for joining me this afternoon. Your time is most appreciated, buddy, and thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much, man. If you weren't doing this, I wouldn't be here. So it's I appreciate you, man. I appreciate what you're doing, and it's beautiful. Thank you so much.